And we're broadcasting. Hello everyone. If you're watching this live or archived, doesn't matter, as usual. Let's see. Hello, another TTV viewer, which actually, it's come to my attention that you might be a bot. I don't know if that's true or not, but in case you are not a bot, still, hello, welcome. Also, hello, Slovak Eagle. I really enjoyed your stream earlier. Yes, I'm glad that you're here. And hello, Mr. WL. Yes, hello, I hope you're well. It's nice to see that you have actually got an account now. So, I'm going to switch over to Trainz. Hopefully this works. Let's see. And yes, it works. Great. Actually, it's a bit quiet. Sorry, I forgot to move the microphone closer. It should be much better now. Okay, so last time we did some more work on the town here, and I also put in these parking lots back here. This one's not completely finished, but before I continue with that, I did remember that actually Kango Fango suggested that I put down the diner object, what's it called? Building diner, this one, because this actually fits really well in this sort of area. It would fit really well here. Oops, I'm on the session layer. I'm not going to stick too much, just dropped by to say hi. I'm a bit tired from the stream and my throat hurts. I see. Well, that's okay. I'm glad that you stopped by. Okay, because this this building here, this building diner, I'm sure that this is a reference to a film, because at night there's this very specific scene where a man and a woman appear here. I'll actually just quickly show you. And I think that I've actually... Oh, that's the wrong thing. I think that I've actually seen the film that this is a reference to. I just don't remember which one. So if I turn it to night, and then I zoom out and go back in, so let it update. Actually, that's a bit oh, there they are. Right, it doesn't work properly in TRS-19. I see. But you can see that there are, there's the two people in there, and the bartender. It's just apparently the transparency is a bit messed up here. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. But here you can see them. Anyway, yeah, I think that that would fit really well in this town. I'm just not entirely sure where to put it, because in this location, this toy box shop fits really well. So maybe, well, let's see. I want to put it somewhere where the player's going to see it. I could put it here, but then the corner would be at such an angle so the player wouldn't see it. Well, let's see. I mean, I suppose maybe there's a space over here. Might be a bit odd to have this diner on the other side of the tracks, but at the same time, could also be interesting if they mostly focus on through traffic. And we've just gained a couple more viewers, so hello, whoever you are. Welcome. Okay. So let's see. If I do place this here, then it's going to need a little parking lot. Oh, I don't want to mess up the road here. Like that. So if I just go over and paint this little parking lot in now, we can see how it looks. Kind of just going back here a bit. We could put in some more dumpsters back here. But I'm happy that you enjoyed my stream. I didn't expect it to take a turn like that. But I hope that your route building today goes according to plan. Also, thanks for the tip earlier with the water fauna. Already placed a whole aquarium in the lakes. Well, I'm glad I could help. Thank you. Oh, actually, before you go, I do quickly want to place your oak. Let's see which one. Let's see. I want to pick a good one. Maybe red oak. What do you think of that? Red oak? Is that good? Oh, or maybe one of these. Ooh, the red oak looks majestic. It does. Although, which one? The red oak or the Roy's oak? So the left one or the right one? I'm more for the darker green. Yes. Okay, so I'll choose this one. And let's see. Maybe we could place it. How about, well, it would need to be someplace that wouldn't have been. Oops, where did it go? Oh, there it is. Oh, because I didn't place it. Let's see. Oops. It would have to be somewhere where the land wouldn't have been worked, so there would have been time for it to grow. So I'm thinking maybe back here. So we could have this be part of the property of this little house, and it actually fits really well, kind of growing over that house. Although that's probably difficult to get insurance for with that much overhang. Just imagine if lightning struck this and this branch fell down. But I'm sure that it won't happen. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, Slovak eagle or maybe Slovakian eagle. Slovakian eagle oak. Let's see, Slovakian. Like that. Slovakian eagle oak. Now if you go to the map and I actually turn on the filter. One second, where is it? Named objects. There you go. I like that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it adds a nice touch. Okay. So, right, this little area. I'm going to place the fence first. Sort of around here. And actually I might have a little gap here or a gate on this end as well, so that cars won't, what's the word? So that cars won't have to block the main road, so that they kind of can turn off onto this little road and then turn onto the main road. Although I might actually put in a barrier here for the road. Let's see. Which one looks good? No, that one's double-sided. Oops. Right. Actually, this one might look good. Oh, I've just heard a noise. Let's see. I don't have it open on my screen, so... Mr. WL is coupled up. Thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, let's see. If I do want to put down this barrier here, which might mean that I need to put the diner a bit further back. I mean, but that's okay. So if yeah, that looks much better. So if I kind of put the diner back here, then I can put this barrier sort of there, which then means that cars can either come in here or out there, and then we have another entrance point here. Right. So now, well, actually, this little bit of fence here looks a bit silly at the moment. Hello, Mr. WL. Oh, I guess, what would you prefer? Me calling you Mr. WL or just Mr. W? I think Mr. W rolls off the tongue a bit better. Yeah, so how are you? Having a nice day? Okay. So I'll just get this gate and put it in over here. Because if this still looks silly, even with the gate in, then I'll probably just replace most of the fence on the right here with the barrier. Okay. So now just put this over here. Now, Mr. W didn't work as a username, but yeah, Mr. W sounds fine. Okay, yeah, so Mr. W it is then. So, okay, I think that it's just the fact that it goes around the corner that looks a bit silly. So if instead I add the barrier here, kind of just like this, I think that looks better. Yeah, it does. I just need to fix this little fence bit here. And then I'll add some cars and things like that. Actually, did that fix it? No, it's a little off. Okay. Do they need a parking lot? I think might as well put it in. I mean the painted thing. Oh, I didn't grab that asset. Yeah, not had too bad a day. I'll be able to watch the whole sessions this time round. Oh, that's great news. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to having you. Okay, right. This time it's got it. So, it's not flattened enough yet. So I still need to use the plateau tool a little to flatten this. Because it does actually need to be very flat for the parking lot spline to show up properly. Guess it's still not completely flat. I might just increase its height just slightly. Although no, that's floating, that's not good. Let's see, maybe I'll use the height up tool instead. So just sort of putting it in here, and then like that. Yeah, that's much better. Actually, now the road's floating a bit. Yeah, it does take a little bit of time when you've got several splines that all need to be on the right height. So I'll just quickly remove the gradient on this again. And you know what? I'll just put in another piece, another thing here. So I'll just put it up slightly again. Oops. Yeah, it's a bit strange because I had a different trackball driver installed because I'm actually using a trackball, not a mouse, and that it was a bit quicker. So now it's a bit strange that the mouse is slower again. All right, I think. Well, yeah, that's brilliant placement for the parking lot here. I've actually been meaning to ask, what genre of game would Trainz class as? My first thought was simulation, but that doesn't really fit. I think simulation fits perfectly fine. Oops, not the right tool. Because even though I mostly use Trainz as a creative tool, there are yeah, simulation arcade. Yeah, it is not as realistic as some other simulators, like for example Train Simulator, from the simulation point of view. But it is, I think it definitely fits under simulator, because it does simulate trains and railroads. I just mostly use the route editor of it. All right, so now my question is, should this diner be sort of around here or further back a bit? Because on the one hand, it does look right. By the way, hope your throat clears up soon, Slovak. Yes, me too. Me too. Right. So I think it looks a bit better back here. Yeah, I was going to ask, but now that I've put it here, it's just clear that it looks much better placed back here. All right. Which means that we've suddenly got a lot more space opened up in the front here to put stuff. Maybe we could place some trucks here that kind of stopped for a bite or something like that. All right. Now let's see. Not too keen about that bit back here being dark, but in front is a bit as well. That's good. Okay, now on to placing cars, and for this little area I think I'm going to place the cars manually. So I'm going to type in 1950. Yes. Oh hey, an ice cream van. Is this the one? Yeah, the one with the sound. It sounds really nice, but then it really does sound creepy when you zoom out because of the Doppler effect. So listen. Yeah, it is quaint. Nightmare fuel truck. Yes, especially since there is no driver. It's just the ice cream music. The thing is, I would use this more often, but you can hear it from quite far away. Which is actually realistic, because there's an ice cream truck that drives around where I live, and you can hear it sometimes for, I think, over a mile away. Sounds like a music box and something's going to jump out at you. Exactly. I mean, I'd love to have this here, but it kind of ruins the atmosphere of this town. I mean, can you turn off the sound? No. Actually, there might be an asset without the sound. I'll just quickly go have a look. One sec. So, just enjoy the music in the background while I'm searching. Chevy pick. Oh, where is it? Is it? Oh, maybe I... Oh, I looked at the wrong one, of course. It's ice. There's a traffic version as well. Actually, maybe the traffic version doesn't have sound. That could be the case. I'm just quickly going to download this. I think we might be hearing the same ice cream truck. Are you sure about that? Because I live in the southwestern England, so in southwest Devon. Yeah, I mean, it must be a pretty loud ice cream truck, unless you're living near here. So let's see. No, I think it's just purely a traffic asset. Oops. Well, let's see. If I search for ice cream, what do we have? Oh, we've got an ice cream stand. Oh, my friend Rivix, the British friend of mine, made an Easter egg of me. He made a billboard with my old profile picture and a sound asset that plays the Slovak anthem. Ah, yes. I think I did hear that when you mentioned that on stream. Yeah. I really do like Easter eggs. Anyone who's played... yes. Great. Perfect asset. Exactly what I wanted. Yeah. Anyone who's played my games will can attest to that. So now... Well, no, I can't... It's not showing up here. So... No, not 1920s. 1950s. No, not like that. I live in South West too. Does it come at around 3 p.m.? Right, I know. I thought that Slovak Eagle wrote that thing about the ice cream truck, which is why it really surprised me. But yeah, but now that I know that you wrote, it makes much more sense. Yes, well, I can hear it pretty much all day. It does go around Pagan quite a lot. It might come over the bay as well. Anyway, it might actually be the same one. Right. Oh, I've just realized it's quite dark. So I'll just turn on the light. I'll give you a quick countdown. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Alright. So. Yeah, nice. Pickup truck over here. Let's see. Well, we've also got people, but I'm not going to place people at the moment because I might want to place them in the session. Oh, and then we've got a Kenworth truck. Yeah, this is the sort of thing. You sounded like a radio announcer. Oh. Well, thank you. Alright, so this kind of placed around here. Service station, don't need that at the moment. Let's see. I'll just quickly reload the page to see if anybody else is watching with an account, because sometimes it doesn't update. Nope, that's okay. So yeah, let's see. I don't want to place that many people here. Just a few. Not people, cars. All they're basically the same thing in some regards. Let's see. This one. This semi-trailer. This one I think looks quite a bit like the one from Fuel, the Steven Spielberg film. And I'd love to place this in here, but I doubt that the truck would be able to fit in here with this. So, no, I'm not going to place it here. I mean, I could open this up a bit more. Yeah, Sharadice has quite a nice voice. Oh, well, thank you, Slovak Eagle. That's nice of you to say. Okay. That's a British bus. No. Let's see. Oh, the truck from Duel. Yes. Although, this one actually doesn't look that different from the truck from Duel. Okay, so let's see. Maybe 50s. Oop, didn't mean to put in as a search. I'm just searching for a few car assets. Nope, viaduct, station, building, people. No, I'm just finding the parked car groups from before. So I might as well just place one of those down, because I don't want it to look quite as empty as it is at the moment. So I'm just going to place these down here, I think. It doesn't, but the Duel one was Peterbilt. Yes, I think that's right. I mean, just the general shape. I mean, if you look at it like this, I think it looks a bit similar. Obviously, it's not identical, but I think the general shape of it. But it might be a bit wrong. It's been a while since I've seen Duel. Anyway, so I think that's enough. Yeah, the shape fits. I think that's enough buildings around here. So just add some quick dumpsters. So let's see. I'm just going to grab one from back here and then scroll down to pick a different version. Let's see, maybe version 4, sure. And yeah, just like this. Just put it in like that. No. Yeah, I was going to put it in back here, but maybe it would be a bit difficult to be picked up for collection. So, and it also doesn't really fit in that well. Like, you come in and then you get greeted with garbage. So I think I might put it on the other end over here. So maybe, personally I think they look a bit too colorful for the scene. Which ones do you mean? Do you mean the cars or the truck? The vehicles. 1 second. Well, let's see. I mean, I don't think so. I know what you mean, but I think they look fine, because this is supposed to be the 50s or 60s, and if you look, I mean, that is the age where private cars, especially in America, spiked. And if you look at films that were made there, a lot of the cars are that colorful. Yeah, and besides, there aren't that many assets that fit into that time period. Anyway, let's see, I just want to raise this up a little bit because there was a little edge there. Okay, now, just a little bit more garbage. I know that that's probably something that some companies say, but in this case, it's not that bad, I think. Anyway, Yeah, some old newspapers over there, sure, why not? And a few more, well, not, I don't want to place too much around here because they would keep it clean, because they want people to buy things here. Fair point. Why did you decide on the US in the 50s for this route? Why did that time period appeal to you? Ah, that's an interesting question. One that I'm delighted to answer in a few seconds once I've just added a few more derelict newspapers over here. Because, I mean, that corner really does look like it'd barely get cleaned up. Back here, like, there's just a whole lot of rubbish. And I actually might be able to put in some derelict propane tanks as well. So just a couple of them over here. And don't worry, I got to your question in a minute or so. I wanted some... oh, garbage bags, these ones. Let's see. Yeah, just a couple of them back here. Alright, your question. So, first of all, the first part of that, why US? Well, the thing is that, although I do really like European routes as well, in the US, because it's... don't worry about it, man. Take your time. Insert thumbs up gesture here. Yes, thanks. So, because... because the USA is so huge, the railroads have to cover so much distance that a lot of it is wilderness. Because in the US you can go for dozens of miles, sometimes even hundreds of miles, through wilderness without coming across a single town or village or anything like that. And I really love making scenery like this, especially mountainous scenery. Yes, and the 50s is because, well, of the locomotives. I mean, just look at this locomotive, for example, this F7. Because in the 50s, they were using this multi-unit setup where they had A units, which have the cab end, and then they have B units, which are separate locomotives, which are essentially just a wagon, basically. So this in the middle here is actually a separate locomotive without a cab that's controlled from the other ends. This way it's kind of modular, and I really love the look of this. Just this streamlined diesels. So that's why I've set it in the 50s. Oh, your route is set in 1950s. Kraus Maffei began production in 1961. Guess I'm taking the good old Santa Fe F7. Well, I say 50s. It's I'm not too sure at the moment. It might be 50s or 60s, kind of in that area. Maybe my sessions will span different years. Maybe one session will be in the 50s, the other in the 60s. Just kind of that area. Right. So put those things down. Again, very quaint. Are the really old Victorian trains an option? Well, the really old Victorian trains. One thing. The British trains on this American route. There have been some instances of British trains on American routes. For example, the Flying Scotsman did tour the US. Well, 1960s, now we're talking with all the weird designs on tracks. Yes, we are. Yes, so for example, Flying Scotsman did tour the US. But in terms of Victorian trains, don't really think so. Or do you mean... oh, you mean the old... Oh, let's see. Oh, I don't have it installed here, I think. There are those really, really beautiful looking... I didn't mean this route, just in general in game. Yes, that is an option. Actually, I'll just show you. Because I did... Oh, did I stop Trainz? Oh, I think I must have accidentally quit Trainz. Oh, yes, I must have. Because I did actually start work on a route a couple months back that's set in the... sort of 1850s. Oh, it crashed. Well, that's, well, great. Considering that, I'm just going to quit it again and then start again. Yes, in the 1850s in England. So that's when Brunel was building the Great Western Railway, and I started making it broad gauge. Yeah, it's not finished. Let's see. All right, I did start it too soon. I'm just gonna force quit it. Yeah. Oh, foreign trains in US. Gotta say, I liked the most when Amtrak tested the Swedish X2000 and German ice. Yes. Because they did actually test a French train as well, a French locomotive, for that role. But the thing is that the engineers that came with the locomotive to supervise it, they didn't actually allow the locomotive to leave the shed with the track condition as it was. So that's actually a really funny story. And then eventually they did get permission from those engineers to take it out onto the tracks. And that locomotive, the suspension wasn't fit at all for the track condition in the US. So they didn't use it. But they did try the ice as well, and also the Swedish locomotives, and they did settle on buying the Swedish locomotives and just modifying them a bit. I think they were nicknamed the toaster locomotives. Yeah, sadly they've been phased out now and replaced with the Siemens ones, and the new ones. I think I've brought bad luck with watching my first stream with an account. Oh no. To be honest, Trainz does crash. Sometimes. It's why I save as often as I do. Right, I'll just quickly load up the other route. It's sort of based around Devon area. It's this one. And yeah, it's the broad gauge one. So I think that's over 7 feet wide. Yeah, Brunel's gauge. Yeah. Which actually, the railroad that went from London down to Exeter and then I think to Newton Abbot and maybe a bit further as well, was all put in as broad gauge originally and then was only replaced with standard gauge now. Yeah, this is this route. I'll just quickly show you some bits of it. It's nowhere near finished. So I've kind of made this sort of larger thing here, and this is again is set in the Victorian era. I've got this nice Victorian station here, not finished again. Yeah, and then this is the broad track. As you can see, one thing you might notice is that the sleepers don't go outside the rails and that the actual rails are set on wooden beams. That's actually realistic. Yeah, and yeah, I've just got this sort of area here, and then it just continues. It's a bit laggy now, but it continues elevated over here, and I've actually built this elevated station, and that was quite difficult to do because these are all splines that I've put in. Yeah, and then it just continues off into the countryside, and you've got this thing going along here. And I'm not going to show you the entire route, but I am going to show you Siltmouth quickly, which is as far as I got so far, which is just a nice Victorian coastal town in England. Which actually has a narrow gauge railway running through it as well. Here you can see. It's the textures I've not loaded in yet. They're actually much better resolution. 1 second. And I'll get back to my original route in 2 minutes. Maybe 3. Well, to be honest, maybe an hour, but that's the maximum. Right, so this sort of area, and you've got this little narrow gauge shunting yard up here with it, with this very nice view of the ocean here. A story that might interest you is the Crazy 8s incident. If you find the Wikipedia article on it, you should get all the info you need to know. Alternatively, you could watch the Tom Scott Citation Needed episode on it. I actually know about that, yes. The Unstoppable film was based on that, I think. Right, so you can see the Victorian people here, and the narrow gauge thing coming down here, sort of winding its way. Maybe an hour, yes. Well, to be honest, it might not be as unrealistic as it sounds, given my track record. Anyway, yeah, I really like how this looks, and with a little bridge going over and the little church up there, kind of just snaking its way down and then coming down here. And yeah, and then it continues up here and sort of going into this sort of Dartmoor-inspired area here. And I haven't really built that much over here yet. So at the moment, I'm building the US route, so I'll go back to that. Oh, the Unstoppable movie was inspired by it. Yes. Also, I think the Unstoppable I think the Unstoppable movie had so much potential because, I mean, if they made it more like a documentary of what actually happened and focused on the train and the things, because it is actually a really exciting, interesting story with a lot of suspense, but then they had to put in that, what was it, a divorce story and all that green tint over the entire movie, and it just made me feel like the people who were in charge of the movie didn't think that train fans, who would be the people watching the film, would be interested in it if it was just about the trains. So the side story thing and again the green tint over it kind of made me feel like they wanted to make it more interesting because they thought that it was boring, and then that kind of made me feel like they didn't really want to do that movie. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that kind of ruined the movie for me. Although the incident itself is really interesting. Yeah, I agree with what you feel about the movie. Yeah, so now, now that we're already half an hour into the stream, let's get into route building. Right. So, also, just one more quick thing. Oh, yes. It was suggested to me to put in a playground. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Playground. There we go. Yes, I've not watched it, but from what I know, the movie's not that accurate. Not like Hollywood making stuff up in a movie. Yes, indeed. Oh, again on the session layer. But that is helpful that that message pops up because it reminds me that I need to switch over. So we've got this little playground and we've got this one. I mean, this is a bit large for this town maybe, but it does mean that I can clear up an area here that otherwise would be blocked by the houses on the other side. So for example, if I place this playground sort of around here, then there wouldn't be any houses placed there. So if you're down here, then you'd get a better view of the Slovakian eagle oak back on the hill. So I think I'm going to do that. So now we get into incidents. There was a runaway train not too long ago in Germany. It caught fire and the crew bailed out, but the brakes didn't apply, so the train rolled 20 kilometers on fire before being manually derailed by employees. Oh, I didn't hear about that. By the sounds of it, it was a freight train, because otherwise the passengers would have had to been bailed out as well. They wouldn't have been able to stop it, right? I hope it was a freight train by that description. It was a maintenance. A single car maintenance train. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a bit of a big hill for the playground. The thing is with the playground, it has to be level. So I think I'm actually going to put it down more and then maybe just put some steps up to the other road. There's actually video on that train, Oh, I see. Yeah. Also, speaking of incidents, I was looking at the Virtual Rail Fan YouTube channel. They've got a whole bunch of rail fanning webcams in the US, and I watched a compilation video of theirs of cars getting stuck on crossings, and there's this one specific crossing where the left lane and right lane of the road are on either side of the tracks. So there's a double track main line going in the middle, and then you've got one lane of the road on this side and another on that side. I think someone's actually ran alongside it and jumped onto it. Now that's impressive. Oh yes, that would be impressive. Also a bit dangerous. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so there's actually a crossing here. So you've got the railroad tracks going like this, then you've got the road on this side going this way and the road on this side going this way, and then you've got a crossing, grade crossing, going over it like this. And there's so many because the webcam's right there, so there's so many recordings of people coming on of the crossing. They want to turn onto the road and then go where they expect the other lane to be, but instead of going onto the road, they just go onto the tracks, like onto the sleepers themselves, And there's actually been multiple incidents where a train came and actually hit the car there, even though there are crossing lights, things like that. Yeah, it's just it baffles me that people drive that uncarefully that often. Yeah, I get what you mean. Right, so steps. Not quite what I'm looking for. Maybe stairs. Oh, stairs. Most of the time when I misspell something, it's just because I'm typing so fast, I'm putting in the letters in the wrong order. Because I think that I've already pressed the button, but then I didn't. Wonky staircase. I think that adds character, a wonky staircase. Also, it's a bit realistic. So I think I'll leave the staircase like that. And actually I put in, getting stuck on crossings. 2015 Studenka in Czechia. Czech high-speed train hit a Polish truck carrying steel coils. The entire front demolished and pushed back. Unfortunately, 3 people died and the engineer survived with major injuries. Yeah. Railway crossings. The thing is, sometimes railway crossings are unsignaled so that trucks get stuck on them because they're too long and so it's too tall for them. Basically, they go onto it and then over and they get stuck. But most of the time, I think it's just people thinking that they'll get away with things that they don't. Anyway, what was I looking for? Oh, right. I was looking for a bar fence. Let's see. 3 bar fence. I think, well, let's see. Crash barrier. Oh, because it's got bar in the name. I think the 3 bar fence is fine. So I'll just put this fence sort of along here, just so that people don't fall down. Geez, that's not pleasant. Yes, it's not pleasant. But it is a reality, and sadly and frustratingly, a lot of things in reality aren't pleasant. Well, although that gives perspective. So anyway, on a lighter note, if you can't keep route building whilst answering chat questions, don't worry. If you want to prove that men can multitask, what other games, if any, are you planning to play on Twitch? Well, first of all, when I have a project to work on, I can multitask while answering questions. Probably. Right, so speaking of that, what's the next thing to do? Well, I think the next thing to do is actually put in another staircase so that the playground can be accessed from both sides. So, also I have nothing to prove for mankind. Well, most things. Yes. Other games I'm planning to stream on Twitch. At the moment, nothing. Because the thing is, I would love to stream things on Twitch, like maybe Transport Fever or things like that. But the thing is, also maybe some game development. But the thing is that at the moment, because of the way the computer setup is at the moment, where I'm at home, because I still live with family, it is a bit tricky because we've had to push some schedule things around so that I can live stream in this time frame, which means that I'm quite restricted in when I can stream from that. I mean, if I could, then yes, I'd love to stream some other games as well. But yeah, that's not really an option at the moment. Also, there are I've got a lot of things to do at the moment with living art and everything. By the way, Slovak Eagle, which you probably didn't know, I'm also an indie game developer, and at the moment, I'm in the process of releasing my first game on Steam. I've already released some games on the Mac App Store, but my first game on Steam. Game development would be brilliant to watch. Maybe we could live stream the development of that HP game. Oh yes, living art. Yeah. A HP game. What do you mean? Do you mean the lighthouse one? Or which one do you mean? Yeah. So I could maybe live stream some of that because, but yeah, as I was saying before, my there are still quite a few things that I need to do with living art before it's ready to be released. At the moment, there's still a little bit of a delay that I need to wait for some specific thing to happen with the fonts. But then I need to work on the trailer and get screenshots. Well, edit them and then do things like that. But yeah, but maybe after that. Harry Potter. Oh right, Harry Potter. Yes, Harry Potter game. The one I sent you an email about. I remember. The one that was only. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't be a cool idea? Yeah. Well, maybe. The thing is that. Again, intellectual property. Because things with licenses, there are a lot of things where, according to the law, you should be able to do something. Like, for example, there was a Star Trek fan game that was being produced. It was a project where they were recreating the entire Enterprise, the Enterprise D, so you could walk around the entire interior, made in the Unreal Engine. It was beautiful. They had put years of work into that, and according to the law, they were within the right to do that because they weren't earning any money from that. They weren't even accepting donations for it. So it would have fallen under fair use. But CBS, who currently own the license to television Star Trek, shut them down. Yeah? I mean, they said that they could go to law and argue their point, but that would drag on for months perhaps, and then the cost of getting an attorney and then the cost in time as well was just not worth it, so they had to remove the project. And yeah, so doing things with intellectual property, I wouldn't recommend it. I would just steer clear of it if the license could be an issue. As you said, it would take time and money that I don't think neither of us have, unless you're hiding a massive room filled with gold. Oh yes, my massive room filled with gold. I mean, no, I'm definitely not hiding a massive room filled with gold anywhere, especially not underneath this very chair. So yeah, sadly, that's not an option at the moment. Oh, a game developer. That's nice. Sorry for the late response. I'm in the process of placing fishes. Oh, you're doing the pond. Are you doing the pond? Because I think you're doing the pond. Also, whenever I say the word pond now, I always have to think of Amy and Rory Pond from Doctor Who. Just the way the pond. Also, did you know that even though the plural of fish in total is fish, so there are 10 fish, the thing is, if you're talking about the plural of fish species, so if there are multiple fish species, it is actually fishes. The same with sheep. If there's a herd of sheep, you say there's a herd of sheep. But if you're talking about different species of sheep, you say sheeps. Fishes, if it's a different species. Yes, exactly. Yep, I'm doing the lake. Finally found a good bridge as well. Great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, so let's see. Actually, I should save. And yeah, I will probably have to put in another road going across here, because there is a lot of empty space between these roads. I mean, of course, I will probably give these buildings their own gardens as well, which will probably bring them down to about here on that side, here on that side. But still, it is kind of empty. What do you think, Mr. W? Do you think we should put in another, I should put in another road going across here or not? One of the random facts I happen to know. Also, I know it's sheep, but it's much more fun to say sheepies. Yes, sheepies. Also, Mr. W and Slovak Eagle, did you know that gazelles, so like in Africa the gazelles, that they're actually much more closely related to going across where? Across here. So from here, going down along here. No, don't put more roads there. Remember, you need backyards too. I would place an alley at max. Interesting point of view. Just going to wait what Mr. W says, and then I'll make a choice. Yeah, so the thing is that gazelles are actually much more closely related to sheep and goats than they are to deer, even though they resemble deer. I agree with Slovak. It would add too much noise. Yes, you're right. So let's see. Is there an alley asset? Nope. So I think I'll just use the dirt road. Yes, what I was saying before. Yes, but if you look at their horns, you'll see that deer, of course, have the antlers, which split up, obviously. But sheep, so or I should say sheeps and goats and those kind of. Try Sam Road Dirt 1. I'll try that. Oh, 01. SAM. I don't think I've got that installed. I'll quickly run the DLS. Oh yeah? I think that's quite common with animals, isn't it? Yes, but the thing is that if you look at the horns of a gazelle, they are, with fish especially, I think. Yeah, they're actually much more like goat's horns. They are kind of curled and things. So let's see, SAM Road Dirt 01. Oh right, that looks very good. Thanks for the tip, Slovak Eagle. Also, I've still got my first class ticket installed, which makes this a lot, well, active, which makes this a lot easier, which I was actually gifted to me by Trainz. I don't quite remember why. Let's see, where is it? Road, someone, here we go, right? Ah, yes, that fits really well, that road. Okay, so just sort of make this coming along here. We can't really add one here. Let's see, I might add one going down this way. Also, another thing is, with my tutorial series, my Trainz route building tutorial series, I've only got a few more parts left to record, and then I will have finished everything that I wanted to record. So if anyone has any suggestions or things that they want to see in a video, then I'll take that into consideration, and if I know enough about that thing to be a... Ah, that's, that's an issue. Yes. Just a video idea, maybe streaming a symbol collection walkthrough of Journey. Ah, I see. Thing is, right, well, yeah, it does sound interesting. Thing is, I don't have the game Journey, and if I did, again, the streaming timetable issue. But that's an interesting suggestion, because the game Journey looks just so gorgeous. Right. I think that's... I don't really use the word gorgeous a lot. I think I use the word gorge, so as in canyon, a lot more than the word gorgeous. Also, do you think that the two are related in some way? Right, I think I'll leave it like this. Yeah, I do need to put some more terrain on this road, but we'll get to that when we get to that, probably. So glad it didn't crash just then. Right. So, just adding a couple more houses. It's quite an English word, to be fair. Yeah. Although I am also mostly an English speaker, although some words that I use I do pronounce. And gorge is often shortened to gorge in youth speak. Oh, I see. Yeah, I meant gorge as in the canyon thing. So I do think that I mostly pronounce words in the British way, although some words I do tend to pronounce in an American way. For example, grass, I often call grass, which is the American way of saying it. Same thing with, some other words. I know, yes. Same thing with other words like, I can't remember. I can't place them with them, but there are definitely a lot more. I remember I used to have 7 tutorials on my YouTube long time ago. I did a tutorial for each tab in Surveyor, terrain, textures, objects, etc. All as short as possible. Got thousands of views really quickly. I think if you did the same for as short length as possible, it will be the best. Oh, that's an interesting... that's interesting. I didn't really think about doing it per tab. The way I did it was, well, I started with the very basics, so like camera movement and baseboards, and then I kind of covered one topic, as it were, which, now that I'm thinking about it, did kind of translate to me covering basically a tab in each video most of the time. But yeah. You will cover it all and people can easily skip to what they need. Yeah, so 1 second, just to look this up. Also, oh right, that's still full screen from your stream. Also, don't mind the Star Trek role-playing video in the corner. Right? Okay, I'll just quickly go to my YouTube page and I'll see what the name, because maybe I can change something. 1 second. Right. So, I've done 14 tutorials so far. The way I am, for example, the first episode is creating a new route, making backups and things like that. Then I've got the camera controls, pick list filters, DLS, tracks and splines, terrain tools, terrain textures, objects, copy paste, things like that. And then goes on to signals, track marks. So it's kind of the same thing almost. Then you can also go into depth, like setting up industries, for example, or how to build a yard, how to set up signals. Yeah, actually, a funny thing you mentioned that. I actually already made a video about yard basics, and also signal one, and also an industry one, which, yes, yeah. Maybe it's a naming convention thing. Like, what naming convention did you use back then? Because I did Trainz route building tutorial and then episode whatever, and then the topics of the video, because I think that that's easy, because I thought that people would search for maybe Trainz, obviously, and then either route tutorial or building tutorial, so I thought I'd put that in the title. Anyway, back to route building. Right. Because I do want these buildings here to have enough area for their backyards, so I do kind of need to smoothen this area out a bit. Also, a thing that I've only recently remembered is that in America, Tane route building tutorial, terrain / Tane route building tutorial, textures, Tane route building tutorial, objects, etc. I see. Yeah, so it's, you've put the Trainz version in the title. I see. But other than that, I think it's basically the same naming scheme. Short and simple naming so people can find it. Do you think that this is... I mean, I think it's really quite... I think I've already got it quite short. For things that... But sometimes it does get a bit long. For example, the longest one here is a viewer-suggested one, which is a special episode. So I've got Trainz route building tutorial, episode 9.5, and then I've got special, and then the topics, which is UK, color and semaphore signals, and gantry and catenary. Yours work well too. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I mean, I've only been... Well, the first episode I uploaded, that was only... well, the 24th of June, so it was only a bit more than a month ago, maybe a month and a week or something like that. So they really haven't been up for that long. Yeah. So let's see. Also, you also have proper high quality thumbnails on them. Thanks. Yeah, I've actually got a file where I've got them in layers. And I never cheated in any of the thumbnails because with the exception of one. Let's see, where is it? 1 second. Just quickly, I'll quickly go over to OBS and go to the ready screen, just because I don't want to show you the private things on my desktop, some of the projects. 1 second. Where is it? Because in one of the thumbnails I did cheat a little bit, but it's just to if you get better streaming equipment, so you can stream other games, genres of games. What other genres would you be likely to play? Well, it's not really an issue of, well, kind of an issue of the equipment, but it's not really an issue of the equipment. It's more the time that I can allocate to streaming. Oh, it's right. I've got it onto movies. 1 second. Let me just find it. It's the signal one. The signal. I'll have it in a second. This one, right? So, with the signaling thumbnail, you can see that I've retouched the light of the signal. I'm not sure if you pick it up on stream, but I've actually just went into Pixelmator, and I've just drawn over a little red dot because it was so dark you couldn't see it on the thumbnail, but that's the only bit of cheating that I've done in thumbnails so far. Anyway, I say so far like, yeah, I want to do it always, but no, not going to do this. Yes, so genres. That is an interesting question, because I think probably kind of tycoon-like games, so like Transport Fever or OpenTTD, things like that, because I really enjoy those kind of games, as well as actually I think I'll put in the backyards now to these houses, just to know how much space I have. Yeah, for one reason, because they require a lot of thought when you're playing, and a lot of what's the word? A lot of planning to do right, because I love Transport Fever, and I would love to get Transport Fever 2, which is supposed to come out for Mac in October. I see. I also always use thumbnails directly from the video, but I found out that no custom thumbnail draws more attention to certain videos than custom ones. Yes, I thought that as well. Even though, and that is a thing. I think because I mean, well, you can go too far with that, obviously, because I mean, all you need to go is on the YouTube homepage. And actually, one quick question. I'm thinking, should these houses have driveways? Because if it's America, then probably yes, but it's on a slope, which means it's going to be really difficult to do. I'm thinking, yes, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, kind of like these do, but these are built in. I think that I'll put. I'm not going to put them in. No. The player won't be seeing them that close anyways. So yeah, because if you go on the YouTube homepage, all of the clickbait and things with arrows and faces on them, like, oh, look at this thing, this is interesting video, click here. That, yeah, you can go a lot overboard with that. No driveways on slope, it wouldn't look good. Do it like San Francisco, park on street. Yes. Actually, I might be able to place some cars there as well if I can roll them, which I don't think I'll be able to do, but maybe I will. Okay, so first things first, need to separate where the lower ones will be, how far their backyards will go. Actually, right, so going back to Mr. W, in terms of streaming other games, yes, I would love to stream games like that. Not only because they are a lot of fun to play for me. Oh right, sorry for the misunderstanding. Your YouTube page says non-violent games. Did you think it says Did you think it says violent games? Right. Anyway, sort of those kind of games. Because, well, for one thing, it would probably allow for a lot of viewer interaction. Like in Transport Fever, it might be something like, oh, do you think we should connect this town up with a passenger service first? Or do you think we should connect it with general goods, or whatever they call it there? I think it's just goods. Or construction materials, or things like that. Which, yeah, I think that's probably what I would stream if I didn't stream Trainz. No, I just thought that there were more scope to non-violent games than just simulations. Well, yes, there are. It's just that I don't have that much time to spend on playing games at the moment. And the only reason why I'm playing Trainz, as it were, is because this route development, well, for one thing, it's very relaxing, and the second thing is that I can also put this route up for sale when it's finished, which means that I will at least get some return on it, probably. I mean, I've never put a route up for sale before, but probably. And the misunderstanding was about the equipment thing. Ah, yes, the equipment thing. Right, I understand. Let's see, this doesn't really look that good with the fences that close. Because, I mean, I could put it over like that, but that's a bit too closed in. I think I'll probably just put in a little bit of fence like that, kind of. And then, I mean, maybe hedges. I could put hedges over that as well. Might look realistic. Yes, but I'll get back to the scope of those games. I also Carspline 10 1960s line new. Use that on the slope for parked cars. Oh, thanks for the tip. I'll look that up once I've finished this little fence area here. Right, so it does. I do also like sort of exploration games as well. So things like, for example, Everything. Even though I didn't play that much at the moment. Yeah, things like that, or Proteus, those kind of games I also really like. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'll probably add some hedges to these because it does look a bit barren at the moment. Let's see. Oh, and I need to put in the no payware filter. Right. Let's see what's it. Carspline 10 1960s. Oh, this one. For example, everything. Yes, I mean that is literally what the game's called. Right. Oh, right, they do. Sorry, those do fit quite well. Let's see. And to be fair, the road is quite wide here. Although I do think you could do something really interesting with these cars. Oh, they don't really. Yeah, like that. Here's that. I mean, you know about walking simulators, right? Walking simulators. Well, if they're well made, if the environment is attractive, and it's got an attractive story to it as well, then yes, I do enjoy them. But a lot of them are just kind of, well, not that interesting, to be honest. A lot of them are just someone's missing in the woods. You've got to follow them, find them, and then it gets a bit creepy, and then not that much really. Anyway, yeah. But this thing, I mean, to be honest, I could. Okay. Imagine this. Put in like a big city. There's a big city, and there's like, I think there's actually a structure called Carhenge. I think as well, yes, there is the thing. So just imagine a big city, and there's like a museum and this like plaza in front of it, and this is kind of like a modern art installation. Yeah, they do sound a bit linear. So yeah, like a modern art installation just like that. And it could be called something like traffic jam, or maybe wage slave, something like that. Oh, the branded K is ready with a party of 3. Oh, well, thanks a lot. Welcome to the stream. 3 new members from the branded K. It's nice to have you. Also, hello. Is it Swedar Gaming or Swedar Gaming? Welcome to the stream. Okay. Yeah, I was just talking about maybe using this. Brand train. Oh, right, I see. Yes, it's a modern art in a nutshell. The second one was correct. So was it Swedar Gaming? Swedar Gaming? Okay, is it Swedar Gaming or Swedar Gaming? Oh, by the way, we have a raid. I'm new to Twitch. I have no idea what that does. I think raid means that viewers from another channel come to this channel. Like people going on a raid. Hosting, yeah. Yes, so I'll quickly delete this and get on with root building. Use any pronunciation you like. So how about the German pronunciation? Schwedergaming. How about that one? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna use Swedar Gaming. Yeah, I might use that. Let's see how it progresses. Anyway, right, thanks, man. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So, yeah, and placing these fences between the houses, so the different properties, can take quite a while. But for example, here, the thing is, I've got quite a lot of space here, but I don't think I've got enough to place a building down, and I don't think I've got enough. No, I don't think I've got enough to place buildings down, but I think I've got too much for the gardens, the backyards, to extend up this far. Although, I guess I could do that. So actually I'll delete those 2 again and just kind of place this up here. Oh, thanks for the host, Slovak Eagle. Right. Yes. So let's see. Alright, I'm just going to delete this little thing going along here because it just gets much more... maybe a barrier across the road. What do you mean? I'm uncertain what you mean. I was hosting Branded, but now he is hosting you, so I'm gonna host you too. Oh, thanks. That's nice. Right, so... I mean, if I put in a hedgerow back here along there, I think it might look really nice. But now, I would need to make these come up at an angle like that. Not across, but by the sides. Oh, right, by the sides. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put in... Oh, Swedar Gaming is hosting me as well. Well, thanks. Yeah. I think that we might break a record of the viewers on the... I think we might break a record of the viewers of this channel. Oh, and thanks for the follows as well. They're much appreciated. Right. Yes. So... Oh, I don't even remember what I was saying before. Something... I think it was something to do with spaceships and time travel, maybe? Don't really remember. Right. You've got quite a following going on. Yes, I know! It's Mr. W. It's really quite overwhelming. Really quite overwhelming. Yes. Okay. So, you're popular! Oh well. I suppose there's really nothing I can do about it now. I mean, if I'm popular, then... Well, what can I do about it? No, but seriously, thank you for hosting. I really do want what was I going to say? Right. The reason why I started streaming on Twitch in the first place is because I did want to build a... is there like a Twitch Hall of Fame? Because hopefully we can get you on it. Well, I mean, we can always try. I mean, as a community, we can do it. We can do it. Yeah. Right. The reason why I started streaming on Twitch in the first place is because I was spending a lot of time route building in Trainz as it was, and since I'm planning to put these routes up for payware, just to get a bit of return on that, because I don't really have the time to put that much time into a project if I'm not at least going to get a little return on it. Thanks for the follow, Mika KPK, I think that is. It's much appreciated. Yes, so yeah, I thought I'd get started building an audience for the route while I'm developing it, and also archiving the creation of the route is really interesting, because there are and another alert, probably another follow. I need to wait for the stream to catch up. You're hosting me with one viewer. Thank you very much. Hello, Mika KPK's viewer. Welcome to the stream. There's quite a lot of action in the last few minutes. You are now being hosted by 3 out of 5 people working in Central Europe. Wow. Greetings from the NBS Plus squad. Haha. Oh well, I send my greetings to you as well. And an extraterrestrial from VIP Voice. Oh, wow. I hope you come in peace. Yes. Right, I also really like the idea of archiving the creation process of this route, because there are so many little stories that I come up with when building routes that usually just get lost to time, but if they're being archived, then they're not being lost. For example, because we've got so many viewers, I'll go over this a little bit again. So for example, this area here, wait, you count me in as someone working on Central Europe, Slovak Eagle? Yes, I still do. Okay, yeah, for example, this area here, these little sidings, they're actually called horror point sidings. I know, very spooky. Hen, oh wait. Yeah, probably, yeah, okay. This area here, with your experience with Star Trek, you should have no trouble at all with dealing with ETs. Yes, I mean, first contact protocols have already been engaged. I mean, I am building a relationship with the extraterrestrials, am I not? Sweetheart, no inappropriate stuff here. Be professional. Yes, please. Hen, oh wait, when you accidentally place a female chicken in TRS-19. Yes, let's go with that. So, right. Yes, I get it. Yes, so for example here, I was trying to decide on whether to place this building here or whether to place this building over here. And then I noticed that this building has a little light post up here. And then I got thinking what this would look like in a horror film. Like if this is, imagine this completely dark, and then you've only got this cone of light here in front of this little shed. And then just imagine that the night crew, they're supposed to change crews here, a train's expected, and it's like 2 in the morning, and then they're in this little house here, but then all the lights go out, and they have to step out into the night sky, and they start to hear strange noises, and then they have to repair the fuses, which are located in this building, so they have to cross this huge gap with a monster following around, like a real horror film, and then they put on the fuse again, and then they know what's going on out here, or maybe, no, they don't know yet, and then they think something's following them, and so then a character runs over here towards this cone of light, this safety, this thing, and we cut to a scene of them splashing in puddles as they're running across, and they just get to the door just in time. The handle grips the door, and then only later we find out what actually lurks in these woods. And that's why it's called Horror Point Sightings. And things like that are now archived in the streams, whereas before they'd just have gotten lost to time. Also, go to the Objects tab and type Animal Chicken. Okay. Okay guys, calm down now. Let Trainz explain his work and do his job a little. Let him breathe a little. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I do quite like oxygen. Well, with some nitrogen as well, mostly. Yes. Wait. Okay, I'm waiting. I think I'll do a little bit of work while I'm waiting. Yes, I mean, I do know about the animated animals, and I am going to place some of those down. It's his job. Well, I mean, I doubt that this is called my job, because last time I checked, you need to get paid if it's occupation. That sounds like a great idea for a new game, and you've sorted out the title with Horror Point Sighting. Yes, I mean, to be honest with you, it does, although I think it'd be better with... I do quite like Oxygen, Paradise 2020. Yeah, I mean, yes, you can quote me on that, by the way. I'm going to stand by that statement. And then nothing you can do will change that. Well, most things you can do won't change that. Yes. So, I mean, it does sound like a new game, but to be honest with you, I think it'd be better as a film, because the thing is, with a game, you don't have that much control over the player, because in a film, you can cut between scenes whenever you like, and you can deliberately not show... I just did. Yes. Because with a film, you can not show certain things. For example, you could have a character that, well, in the tradition of horror films, you could have a character that maybe the toilet's broken, and a character goes out to pee or something like that. Paradise, I'm officially inviting you to our VIP voice Discord server. You just earned yourself a veteran role upon joining as well. I am sending you invite on your DMs. Well, thank you. I honestly don't know what to say to that. Well, I didn't expect it. Well, it is an honor. It is a true honor. Actually, it is. It is kind of. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I'll be looking at that after the stream. So, yes. Because the thing is with with films, I think a character's going out to pee because the toilet's broken, and you can just see them from behind, and sorry, just a little bit of water. I'm talking quite a lot. Much better. Yes, and then you can see like alien vision, like first-person perspective. You can see something creeping up behind you. You can hear a noise, something crack. You can see the character turning around, but you show the character's face, so you don't. So the audience doesn't know what the thing is that he's seeing, if anything. You have been found by the VIP voice recruitment team. That the way you worded that, it sounds like it could be something bad, like a secret government organization, like the VIP voice recruitment team, like something like that. But yes, thanks again. Right. So I think you can do a lot with games if. Let's see. I'm just searching for a hedge now. Straight from the horror movie, some might say. Ah, yes, indeed. Some might say. I can see you are quite nervous. Take a break, breathe a little. I can also see that you are really excited about showing us your route, and we all love it so far. Thanks. Well, I'm not really nervous. It's just I have so many thoughts running through my head, and I really want to get through them without forgetting them. So I do tend to talk quite a lot then. Nah, I'm pretty sure we don't belong to any government. Is the character going to do that stupid turnaround thing when the smart movie is when the smart movie is to get the heck out of there? I mean, of course he is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a trope. I mean, a movie. Yeah, because it is a really bad trope, because it would be so easy to just have it so that you actually see what the character is doing, but then that would... It's a bit tricky because of the tension, because you want the character to have a really bad encounter, maybe even get killed in a horror movie, to demonstrate how bad, how dangerous that monster, whatever it is, but you don't want to show it yet because that would drain a lot of the suspense. So it is quite tricky to write, but if you've got a good writer, you can definitely pull it off. Mika, with the state of politics right now, there's not a lot of things that wouldn't be better than our current Slack. Didn't mean to put a question mark, sorry. Oh, right. Did look a bit strange with that question mark. We are European. I don't know what political problems you got in mind other than USA. Yeah, I mean the UK. The UK is pretty much on top of it. We're in control, definitely, of our own government and things that are happening here. Definitely not spiraling to our doom over here. So don't worry about us. Yeah. Right, so that's a way that you could, for example, put it in a movie, but it does mean that obviously it is a trope, and it detracts, it is a bit cheap. But the thing is, with video games, even though video horror games do work well, it does mean that either you have it quite linear, where the player doesn't have that much choice in what's going to happen in the story, which can work, or if you do it a different way so that the character does have an impact on it, it suddenly gets a whole lot more complicated, which is why I think horror point siding definitely fits better as a film. You've been invited to join the European Union. Accept or dismiss. I'm European too. To be honest, the USA's problems are enough for the whole world. Yeah. Oh, I've been invited to join Europe. Well, thanks for the invite, guys, but technically I'm already a citizen of a European country, not the UK. So technically I'm already a European citizen, which makes me, in this situation, a bit luckier than some other people from the UK, or probably will be when Brexit finally gets through. But I don't really want to get started on the topic of Brexit because yeah, it's just really annoying at the moment, and during the streams is a time for fun and games, a time to rejoice, and things like that. Yes. Anyway, can anybody remember what I was talking about before I got started on horror point sightings? Now, how does that look? This one is a bit too stretched. I need to change this one a little. That's a difficult spot. I think that should be fine. Politics and Twitch do not mix, period. I thought you said you were new to Twitch just a few messages ago. Or maybe you've already learned this quickly. Easter eggs on the route? You should check the Metro games. They are action shooters, but they are story-driven, and your actions along the route can either get you to the good or bad ending. If you're a good person, spend time exploring and are patient to hear conversations, it is really good to check out. I think it looks too artificial. Okay, so first of all, Easter eggs on the route, definitely. Secondly, the thing is, I really don't like violent games. It just puts me too close to actually... I mean, I'm fine with it in movies if it's not just over the top. But the thing is, within video games, I tend to identify a lot with a character I'm playing. And if I'm playing a really violent character, it feels like I'm being that violent, which I know it's only a character in a game, but I really don't like that feeling as much. So I only really play peaceful games. Although the thing is, like, for example, with Outer Wilds, the game, There are some violent moments in that as well. For example, you can get trapped in a cave with sand rising slowly until you get squashed, essentially. But in that game, it's, well, for one thing, you're in a time loop. Secondly, it is done as a consequence, as a natural consequence of your actions, and the point isn't for it to be violent. So in that case, I'm okay with it. But yeah, anyway, this is an Easter egg, for example. So this building here, you've got this road sign right on the steps, and the thing is, it fits so perfectly by accident over the steps. They've just lost it in. Right, so too artificial. Well, these are supposed to be artificial gardens. Maybe I can put in a few greenhouses or things like that. It was more video games and politics. Yes, it was. Yeah, I understand your feeling about the games. In that case, you can check out Stormworks or Far Lone Sails. Ah, yes, I do actually have Stormworks. And it does run fine on Mac, but the thing is, I think maybe it has to do with the graphics card I'm using. But for me, the water is just so incredibly buggy. It just doesn't work. At the beginning it's fine, but then you get all sorts of artifacts and can't really play it. But yeah, that's a good shout out. Lone Sails. Far Lone Sails, I think I've heard of that. I'll look into that a bit later. Thanks. Yes, I get that. With films, you're watching violence. With video games, you're committing the violence. Oh yes, that sign. Yes, although with some movies, if it's over the top, I don't enjoy it as well. Yeah. I mean, like, if it's done purposefully, like if it has a purpose in the film, then it's fine. I understand. Like, for example, in Hitchcock's films, there is often quite a lot of violence in them. Like, for example, some of his later films more so. And in that, it mostly works fine. Like, I don't know if I should describe this as one scene, but I think that, well, this stream isn't meant for kids anyways. I think, well, 13 plus. So in one of his films, I think it's Frenzy, there's one character who's been killed. She's been put into a truck, and then there's this one scene where one of the characters, the one who killed her, wants to get a ring, a special ring. He needs to get that ring, so he goes into the scene, but rigor mortis has already set in. So when he's trying to pry her fingers open, you can hear the cracking and snapping as muscles tear and bones break, and that is too over the top in for my taste. Although most of Alfred Hitchcock's films, the violence is used in a way that I appreciate. For example, Psycho or a lot of the other films are still quite violent, but they are. I do like that as well. Yes, I know exactly how you feel, Mr. W. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Although here's an interesting thing about violence in films. Did you know that in the, I think it's in the 70s or 80s, used as a plot point? It is used kind of as a plot point in that film, but it was unnecessary that it was that violent for the purpose of the film. He could have just as easily had it so that he finds the corpse and just slips the ring off. Yes, it wouldn't have been as realistic, but for me, it's just too realistic in that situation. Damn, bone snapping is a lot for me too. I can get past snapping necks in games, but yeah, in shooters I prefer to use knives or bullets, or just punch in face to knock out rather than kill if possible. Yeah, it is. I mean, in some movies, like for example Frozen, not the Disney one, even though that, according to some people, might also be seen as a horror film, but actually the other one, the one about the chairlift. Here's a fact about Psycho. The shower scene was the first scene where a toilet was seen being flushed, yes. The water didn't show up on the camera, so they had to use chocolate sauce, yes. You're right. I meant more violence used as a plot point. Right. Yes, if it is used as a plot point, then it can be good. It depends on the film, but it is quite... it is a tricky subject. It depends on the film itself. Because, for example, in Frozen, not the Disney one, the other one, the horror film, Disney Frozen, the horror adaptation. Yes. It's a film about a group of three friends who go skiing, and to this one ski park that's only open on weekends, and it's already nighttime. They want to go down. They want to ski down the hill one more time, so they want to take the chairlift up. Dang it! I can't one-up you on quirky general knowledge. Well, you'd have to do a little more research than that, but I think it's possible. I believe in you, Mr. W. You can do it. Yes. So in that film, they go up. They go up the chairlift. It's an open chairlift where their legs are dangling free. And I can just imagine one of those little dolls singing, "Let it go." Yes. Yeah. Right. Let's see. I'm actually going to undo this because I want this to be a bit different. Right. So the thing is, they did tell the person at the controls of the chairlift that they are going up and that they should wait for him, and he did. But then he was relieved, so someone else came, and all he said to the replacement guy was, "There are 3 teenagers still on the lift." Only then, 3 different teenagers came down the chairlift, so then that guy thought that the lift was now free. Nobody was on it, so he shut it down. And the entire ski region, the entire ski park, was shut down for 5 days, and now these these teenagers were stuck on that chairlift with their legs dangling down in the middle of the night for 5 days in the freezing cold. Yeah, that is definitely a horror film. It's one of the most memorable horror films I've seen. Actually, I haven't seen that many, but still, very memorable horror film. And the one of the characters, and spoiler by the way, one of the characters decides to jump down into the snow. It's very high up, to see if he can go back to get help. He jumps down, and would that count as a thriller rather than horror? To be honest, I'm not sure. It was definitely horrific, so I think maybe both in a way. The thing is, he jumped down and his legs broke. And with that, you didn't only hear the snapping, but you could see it gets very graphic. Let's leave it at that. And in that case, it was the violence of that moment was necessary for the film. It was necessary for the film's atmosphere. Yes, spoiler alert. It was necessary for the film's atmosphere, for the danger to be real. So that film, if it hadn't had that violence, it would have been boring. So in that case, even though it was still very, very uncomfortable to watch, which it was supposed to be, it was needed and useful. Also, Trainz just crashed, because I think I saved with changing something and undoing it. Also have to force quit it and open it back up again. I hope I haven't lost too much, although I do save quite often. Yeah, so in that film, yeah, it was necessary, and it is, I was about to say I do enjoy it in that film, but that's not right, because I definitely didn't enjoy it, but it made the film as a whole more enjoyable, and in that case, I do appreciate it. But if the point of violence in films, or in games for that matter, is just to shock the audience, so it added atmosphere. It added more than atmosphere. It made the situation feel real and dangerous, which for a horror film is important. So, yeah. Yes, that was basically what I wanted to say. I don't know why, but for some reason we always seem to come back to horror films in these streams. I mean, it might be me, but yeah, I'll revert the changes. Let's see. Oh yeah, I haven't lost that much, just a little bit of the fence. I bet it has a hidden meaning. You mean about why we keep getting back to horror films? Well, I wouldn't say a hidden meaning. To be honest with you, it's quite obvious. Or if it isn't obvious yet, just wait until you turn around. I mean, actually, you turn around. Yeah. I do like speaking as different characters well, because I actually do also really enjoy tabletop role-playing, which... oh, don't threaten me with a good time. You know, that is such a difficult sentence to respond to, because on the one hand, if I do want it to be threatening, then it's kind of a paradox in a way. Interesting thing to think about. But yeah, because I do really enjoy tabletop role-playing. The thing is, because of the lockdown situation, my normal tabletop role-playing group, it's a reference, but me and my frying pan are ready. Oh, I didn't get the reference. But thanks for the tip on the frying pan. I'll just add that to the list of things to watch out for. There we go. Frying pan. Okay, thanks for warning me, by the way. Oh, heck yeah, I'm so looking forward for the roleplay group to start back up again. Yes, my normal roleplay group is not happening at the moment. The only thing although I am, I do have another roleplay group, which I do online, but that's not the same thing. I'm using Roll20, but the user interface is really, really difficult to use, and it needs a lot of time. But anyway, that's getting off topic. I mean, as if that was a problem. So you talked about paradoxes, or maybe paradoxi. Then here's one for you. This sentence is false. Ah, yes. This sentence is false. Also, another famous one is, of course, the grandfather paradox. But another famous one is the bootstrap paradox. And if you didn't know, I'll just quickly explain it, if you like. Let's see, how do I want this to be? Because it's kind of a weird shape. Huh. I think I'll put this over here, kind of. Right. I actually completed Portal 2 not too long ago. Such an amazing ending. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the bootstrap paradox, in case you didn't know, is... Okay, let me try to explain it. So, imagine a time machine arrives now in your room behind you. It's small enough, looks good. The thing is, it's broken. It doesn't work. It wasn't supposed to come back. It went back in time on its own, and it doesn't work anymore. But now, because secret government organizations are monitoring Earth, scientists and some people who might be with the army, but that's beside the point, show up at your door, and they claim the time machine. They take it away, and they reverse engineer it. So they figure out how to build time machines from studying that time machine. And then, in maybe 20 years, time machines are being built all over the place. Only one of them had a malfunction, which caused it to go back in time on its own, which is the one that landed in your room. So the question I have is, who invented the time machine? Who came up with the concept? Because the plans for how to build it were just copied from an already existing one, which was based on the plans that were copied. This is called... There's this game called DEFCON. Scientists studied the game on why it's so horrifying for people to play and go through. It is a game about controlling a part of the world and preparing yourself for war. DEFCON counts down from 5 to 1. 1 is when nuclear weapons can be used. You know that when one person launches nukes, everyone else does too. In the end, nobody wins. Interesting game. Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting. Also, Mr. Space-Time Continuum has gone off on one again. Ah, yes, indeed he has. Right, about that game, it actually sounds like a film. Well, there have been a lot of films about that. But have you ever heard of a film called Colossus? It's about 2 supercomputers. Well, yeah, initially only one, that takes control of the nuclear weapons, and then, as you might expect, things go a bit wrong. It's a bit of an older film, but it's actually a really interesting one, and I think a lot of newer films actually take, well, what's the softest way of saying this? Take inspiration from that film. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, might be worth checking out. Anyway, right, now we'll quickly save. Oh, yes, that movie. I haven't seen that one in a very long time. Yeah, oh, so you know it. Good. Okay, so I think that this kind of style looks okay. Although, oh yes, inspiration. Yes, indeed. I definitely need to put some smaller some smaller trees in here as well. I like the backyard planning. Now just the details. Exactly. I need to put in some more trees in here, maybe some greenhouses, flower beds. The thing is, it's a bit difficult to place on an angle like this. Getting back to the thing about towns on slopes being tricky. But I'll just get started. So I think I'll place some greenhouses first. So let's see. Oh right, I tapped greenhouses. Probably greenhouse is a better term. Also, I need to put on the no payware filter, just so I don't accidentally put on a payware. Greenhouse. Maybe with a space? Huh, 1 second. I guess those were all payware then. Oh no, I know what I did. I accidentally clicked on today. I didn't click on no payware. I'll sometimes mess those up. There we go. Greenhouse. Now let's see. Aussie greenhouse. This one's a nice one. Let's see. I think it looks good in this one. Maybe just turn it like that. And I obviously need to make the ground a lot smoother here. And by the way, I am using the 5-meter grid size in case anyone was wondering. Because yes, it does take a little bit more performance, but you can just do so many more things with it. You can get so much more detail in areas. So let's see. I think we can put a few more of these around. So maybe like that. Kind of. Let's see. Well, it is kind of creating a bump in the road, but maybe if I can kind of smooth this out a little bit. Well, what did it look like before? No, I like this better, so I'm actually going to put the terrain down to the greenhouse instead. Let's see. Yeah, this is really tricky to work on. I think that's good enough, probably. So that's 2 here. I think I'll put 1 more down somewhere over here, I guess. Maybe over in this corner. Okay. I just noticed that I've... oh, it doesn't allow... Oh, not rolling. I meant height change. Something like that. I just realized that I... kind of relaxing now. I didn't really realize how tense I was from before. Anyway. Maybe a different greenhouse as well. Let's see. Maybe one of these little compass things. Oh, also a thing. I mean, I was just had an idea, because if this is set in the 50s or 60s, then the Cold War, or more so the 60s really, or maybe a bit later even, not really sure. But things with Russia would probably already be heating up quite a lot. So it might actually be realistic to maybe also have some bunkers around, like some shelters, some bunkers. Although in this little mountain town, I doubt that people would be paranoid enough to invest in bunkers. What do you think? No. Although, I just placed that because I wanted to see what it looks like. Now, let's see. It's America and people are crazy. Place 3 bunkers made of buried school buses. Okay. I mean, if you say so. Well, actually, just out of curiosity, let's see if there are any. Yes, I think an Anderson shelter would look great in every backyard in the district. Yes. Bunker basic, not really what I'm looking for, too large. Now these are the kind of bunkers I was looking for. Yes, one in every garden. Yes. This is what this place needs, definitely. No. Coal bunker. Well, I'll quickly look on the download station as well. Maybe there's a good one there. Oops. Bunker. Let's see. These are too large. Oh, these look interesting. Not what I'm looking for, but they look interesting. These, then they don't really... I think they're too large for this area. Just quickly scroll through this list. Not that many. Oh, what's that? Huh. Oh, well, maybe this one. No, I think that it's also too large. It's too militaristic. Okay, well, if there's... most look a bit too modern too. Yeah, some of them. But if there aren't any good bunker assets for this case, what if we instead looked for something similar? So I'm thinking sewer. Maybe there's like a sewer cover things for people to go into. Yeah, like this one, for example, a manhole cover. Like if I download this one, it could be just a ladder going down into the bunker instead of into the sewer. Also, I will download this sewer outlet as well. Not for this route, for a different route. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so what was it? I think if I search for... Oh, the bunkers by Oknotsen. Also good old friend of mine. Haven't seen him for quite some time now though. Wouldn't surprise me if he quit Trainz. Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool. Okay, so if I type in sewer. Oh, it looks like there were already some here. So this type of thing. Like this could be a bunker to climb down into. So, let's see, I want to place it somewhere where it's going to be visible enough to catch the player's attention. So let's see, where would this fit? I think probably just in one of these up here, maybe just over here. Wasn't Oknordsen a forum mod? I have no idea. So like that. Sewer outlet, nope. Pumping station, sewer pond, not quite what I'm looking for. But yeah, I think that I might actually add one more. No idea on that. So one more over here, I think, just to add something in this backyard that isn't a house. Also, this house needs to be brought down a little bit, like that. So something like this. And actually, it would take either a very unusual situation or a very important person to rage quit Trainz, wouldn't it? Well, he didn't say rage quit. It might be that he's just gotten bored of it, or that maybe some things that Oren did he didn't like. Maybe some things like that. It doesn't have to be rage quitting. I'll actually rename these bunker, and then number 1. And the other one I'll rename bunker number 2, just so that if you look on the map, it's clear to see what they are. He wouldn't rage quit. He was quite a calm guy. Okay. Maybe in the far distance make another Easter egg and put one of those big bunkers. Perhaps. But actually no. I'll get to that in a second. Right. So, I mean, these things look okay. So now I'll actually put down a few trees. So the thing with this is, usually I put down trees that I've placed in the normal scenery. It was just the way you said it. Usually I use trees that I've placed down in normal scenery as well. But in this case, or maybe some of them, but I think it would look better to have some small broadleaf trees as well. So we can kind of have, well actually this is, yeah, that is the small one. So we just have a couple of these in here, then put a few more of these around here, kind of like that. And then let's see, broadleaf. It said tree on the end. Let's see. Nope. Although, no, it's too big. Also, it's a 2D tree, and they don't look that great in Trainz. TRS 19, I mean. Something like this, I was thinking. Let's see, I want a bit of a smaller one, like this one. Also, in case you didn't know, this route is not seasonal. I've made some seasonal routes in the past before, and I really do like them because it just makes the route feel so much more alive if you can drive around it in different seasons. But I'll add one more tree over here. But the thing is that you are restricted so much in the assets that you can use, which means that a lot of the different assets you wouldn't be able to use. Seasonal routes, check out Eagle County. Alright, I'll do that. Thanks for the tip on that. Oh no, what's it called? I think a maple, the tree I'm looking for. Let's see. No, not this one. What was it? Oh, big leaf maple. Not that one. Because these, I think, actually look purple in autumn. Or I might be confusing them with a different one. No, that's too dominating, that tree. I think I'll just place a smaller one. Saying that, these all look pretty large. No, one like that. Maybe one more tree of this kind over in this area, because it does look a bit samey, like that. Also, I need to put these buildings down a little bit. Oh, and I've just seen that we've passed the 2-hour mark, which is when this stream ends. So, I'm just going to position the camera in such a way that I've got an okay thumbnail ready. So something like, well, something like this maybe. Just showing more work on the town like that. I think that's good. I'm going to have to go now. Hopefully see you all on Thursday. Well, thanks, Mr. W. I appreciate that you've got an account now. Alright, I guess. Thanks for the stream. I enjoyed it a lot. Well, thank you. Thanks for all of the follows and invites and all sorts of things. I really didn't expect there'd be that much action this stream. But thanks, still. Yes, bye, everyone. I'll switch over to OBS. I'll go to the ready screen for this, yes. So, that's it then. Thank you for coming, and bye.